Mark Dufresne, a seasoned prosecutor in Montreal, believed his badge gave him unchecked power, wielding it to dominate courtrooms and secure convictions with ruthless efficiency. For years, he thrived on fear and control, dismissing defendants as mere obstacles to his success. But when he targeted Claire Moreau, a poised and brilliant financial analyst accused of fraud, he underestimated her resolve. The woman he dragged into court wasn't just fighting for her freedom. She was armed with evidence that would unravel his career and expose the cracks in his untouchable facade. Mark Dufresne had built a reputation as the prosecutor who never lost. At 43, he was a fixture in Montreal's palette of justice, his tailored suits and sharp tongue as much a part of his identity as the badge he carried. Born into a middle-class family in Quebec City, Mark had clawed his way to prominence through ambition and a knack for bending the system to his will. After law school at McGill, he joined the Crown Attorney's office in 2005, quickly earning a reputation for securing convictions in high-profile cases. Colleagues called him Luriquin, the Shark, for his relentless pursuit of guilty verdicts. Mark saw the law as a game, one he played to win, regardless of the human cost. His approach was methodical. He intimidated defendants into plea deals, pressured witnesses, and framed cases to fit his narrative. The badge, a small plastic card with a provincial seal, was his shield. It gave him authority, respect, and, in his mind, invincibility. Judges trusted his judgment. Defense attorneys dreaded facing him, and the public saw him as a champion of justice. Behind closed doors, though, whispers circulated about his tactics. Cutting corners, ignoring exculpatory evidence, prioritizing wins over fairness. Mark dismissed the criticism. He believed the ends justified the means. In March 2023, a new case landed on Mark's desk. Claire Moreau, 34, accused of embezzling $200,000 from her employer, a mid-sized accounting firm called Bergeron & Fills. The file included bank records, a whistleblower's statement, and an audit report pointing to Claire as the culprit. Mark skimmed the documents, confident it was an open-and-shut case. Fraud cases were his specialty, technical, detail-heavy, easy to spin for a jury. He didn't bother digging deeper. Claire, a single woman with no criminal record, seemed like an easy target. He scheduled her for an arraignment, expecting her to crumble under pressure. Claire Moreau was not what Mark anticipated. A graduate of HEC Montreal, she'd built a career as a financial analyst, known for her meticulous work and quiet confidence. Born in a small town in Quebec's eastern townships, Claire had moved to Montreal at 18, determined to make her mark. She worked her way up at Bergeron & Fills, earning respect for her ability to spot discrepancies in complex financial systems. Her colleagues describe her as reserved but fiercely intelligent, with a knack for uncovering what others missed. When embezzlement accusations surfaced, Claire was blindsided but not panicked. She knew something Mark didn't. The truth was on her side. The arraignment took place in a cramped courtroom on a rainy April morning. Mark stood, his posture radiating authority, and laid out the charges with his usual flair. He accused Claire of siphoning funds through shell accounts, painting her as a calculating opportunist. His tone was sharp, designed to intimidate. Claire, dressed in a simple black blazer, listened without flinching. When asked for her plea, she responded clearly, not guilty. Mark smirked, assuming it was bravado. He requested a trial date, confident he'd secure a conviction within weeks. Claire, however, had been preparing. Months before her arrest, she'd noticed irregularities in Bergeron & Fills accounts, unexplained transfers, missing invoices, and discrepancies in client payments. She reported them to her supervisor, Martin Gagnon, the firm's CFO. Gagnon, a charming but slippery executive, had brushed her off, promising to investigate. Instead, he quietly orchestrated a plan to frame Claire, using her access to the accounts as a scapegoat. Claire, suspecting foul play, had saved every email, memo, and report she'd sent, building a paper trail that proved her innocence and pointed to Gagnon's involvement. At the pre-trial hearing, Claire's lawyer, Sophie Tremblay, a veteran defense attorney known for taking on tough cases, presented a motion to introduce exculpatory evidence. Mark, caught off guard, dismissed it as a delay tactic. He argued the evidence was irrelevant, banking on his reputation to sway the judge. But Tremblay was relentless. She produced emails showing Claire had flagged the suspicious transactions long before the audit, contradicting the prosecution's timeline. Mark, unprepared, scrambled to counter, but the judge allowed the evidence, setting a trial date for June. Mark's confidence began to waver. He spent the next weeks reviewing the case, realizing the bank records weren't as airtight as he thought. Transactions tied to Claire's account had inconsistencies, dates didn't align, and some transfers were authorized by Gagnon himself. Mark's instinct was to double down. He leaned on the whistleblower, a junior accountant named Luke Bergeron, to strengthen his testimony. Luke, nervous and evasive, stuck to the script Gagnon had fed him. Claire was a mastermind. Mark didn't question it. He trusted his gut and his badge to carry him through. The trial began on June 10, 2023. The courtroom was packed with reporters, drawn by rumors of a David and Goliath battle. Mark opened with a scathing narrative, portraying Claire as a greedy schemer who betrayed her employer's trust. He presented the audit report, bank records, and Luke's testimony, expecting to seal the case. Tremblay, however, dismantled his arguments with surgical precision. She cross-examined Luke, exposing contradictions in his story. Under pressure, Luke admitted Gagnon had coached him, promising a promotion if he pointed the finger at Claire. Tremblay then called Claire to the stand. Claire spoke calmly, detailing her discovery of the discrepancies and her attempts to report them. She presented her saved emails, which showed Gagnon's dismissals and vague promises. Tremblay introduced forensic accounting reports, independently verified, that traced the embezzled funds to an offshore account linked to Gagnon. The courtroom buzzed. Mark, sweating, objected repeatedly, but the judge overruled him. The evidence was damning. Mark tried to salvage the case, attacking Claire's credibility. He suggested she'd fabricated the emails to cover her tracks. But Tremblay was ready. She produced metadata proving the email's authenticity, verified by a cybersecurity expert. The prosecution's case unraveled. Mark's usual tactics, intimidation, selective evidence, fell apart against Claire's preparation and Tremblay's skill. On the third day, Gagnon was called as a witness. Under Tremblay's relentless questioning, he cracked, admitting he'd manipulated the accounts to fund a personal venture, framing Claire to avoid suspicion. The judge declared a recess, and Mark retreated to his office, reeling. He'd misjudged Claire, ignored the evidence, and trusted a corrupt witness. His badge, once a symbol of power, felt like a liability. The trial resumed the next day, and Claire was acquitted. The judge issued a rare rebuke, criticizing Mark's handling of the case as reckless. Reporters swarmed, publishing stories about the prosecutor's fall from grace. Gagnon was arrested for embezzlement, and Luke faced charges for perjury. Claire didn't stop at her acquittal. She filed a complaint with the Quebec Bar Association, accusing Mark of prosecutorial misconduct. She cited his failure to review exculpatory evidence and his aggressive tactics as violations of legal ethics. The bar launched an investigation, uncovering a pattern in Mark's cases. Ignored evidence, coerced pleas, and rushed judgments. Colleagues who'd once feared him now distanced themselves. In September 2023, Mark was suspended pending a disciplinary hearing. The fallout was swift. Mark's cases were audited, leading to overturned convictions and apologies to wrongfully accused defendants. Claire, meanwhile, left Bergeron and Phil's and started her own consulting firm, specializing in fraud detection. She became an advocate for judicial reform, speaking at conferences about the dangers of unchecked prosecutorial power. Her story inspired a provincial review of Crown attorney practices, leading to new oversight measures. Mark, stripped his badge, faced a disciplinary panel in January 2024. He admitted to negligence but defended his methods, claiming pressure to maintain conviction rates. The panel wasn't swayed. He was disbarred, ending his career. Mark retreated to a small apartment, grappling with the loss of his identity. Claire, thriving, never gloated. She focused on rebuilding, her victory a testament to preparation and truth over arrogance. The case became a cautionary tale in legal circles, a reminder that no badge grants immunity from accountability. Claire's resilience and Mark's downfall showed that justice, when challenged, could correct itself. but only if someone like Claire was willing to fight.